Good evening. And welcome to the 63rd Annual Maryland Dairy Princess Contest. We're so excited to have you all here at the Maryland State Fair, celebrating Maryland's hardworking dairy farmers and a resilient dairy industry, and the young ladies that are stepping up to promote our product and our way of life. My name is Susan Summers. I'm president of the Maryland Dairy Princess Committee, and I'm honored to work with this dedicated group of dairy promoters. This outstanding program has encouraged and developed hundreds of young ladies through its 63-year history, and it has offered amazing opportunities for them to grow and chart their futures. Meanwhile, the state's dairy industry benefits from these trained professional spokespersons as ambassadors throughout the state. We can't wait for you to meet the girls this evening, representing 4 regions of our state. They truly are the cream of the crop. And while one of them will take home the state title tonight, the entire royalty team will be working together this year to share the dairy story. Nutritious, high-quality products from happy, healthy cows on well-cared-for, environmentally sound farms. To help us navigate this special evening, it's my pleasure to introduce our Master of Ceremonies, Denny Remsburg, a longtime supporter of this program. Denny is a native of Frederick County and grew up in the Maryland 4-H program, showing Holstein dairy cattle. A strong 4-H volunteer, Denny was recognized as the Frederick County Agricultural Advocate in 2015 and was inducted into the Maryland Dairy Shrine in 2016. He is retired from district manager from the Catoctin and Frederick Soil Conservation Districts and resides in Jefferson with his wife, Marcia. Please help me welcome Denny Remsburg.
Thank you, Susan. Welcome, folks, to the 63rd Maryland Dairy Princess Contest. It's now time to introduce our regional princesses in an order that was determined by a random draw. Our first contestant, representing the eastern shore of Maryland, is Caroline Winterstein.
Hi everyone, I just wanted to thank you guys for joining us tonight. I want to take this opportunity to introduce my mom and dad, Beth and Will Winterstein. Thank you.
It's now time to meet our Carroll County Dairy Princess, Tristan Kaiser.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to introduce my mom and dad, Glenn and Holly. Thank you.
Now please welcome the Frederick County Dairy Princess, Miss Leah Spurrier.
Hello everyone, thank you so much for coming out tonight. I'd like to take a second to introduce to you my mom and dad, Sarah and Paul Spurrier, and my grandfather, Wayne Spurrier.
Representing the Upper Chesapeake region, Miss Madison Thomas.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to welcome my parents, Jen and David Thomas, and my sister, Olivia.
And now, please help me welcome our 2024-25 Maryland Dairy Princess, LFL, being escorted by her parents, Jody and Valerie Fell. Tonight's contest is the culminating event of a two-day competition. These young ladies arrived in Timonium on Wednesday evening and began working promotional events here at the fair on Thursday morning. On Thursday afternoon, they had personal interviews and gave milk toasts with the judges, followed by a formal dinner in the prestigious Maryland Holstein Futurity last night. This morning's agenda included the Undeniably Dairy Milkshake Contest with local media, and this afternoon the regional princesses gave their promotional presentations for the judges and fairgoers. The contestants are judged on such areas as public speaking, dairy and industry knowledge, poise and personality. 3 individuals have had the opportunity to meet and work with the princesses for the past 2 days and have the challenging task of making decisions throughout the contest. Please meet our judges for this evening. First, Linda P. Foreman. Linda is a Maryland native and proud of her multi-generational agricultural heritage, early experiences on her grandparents' dairy farms, plus regular visits to county and state fairs and university programs built a strong foundation and appreciation for land, farming, hardworking dairy farmers, and sustainability. She is a University of Maryland graduate, and her professional and volunteer careers have focused on education and youth development, primarily within the public school system, United Way, and Girl Scouts. Retired from Durham, North Carolina Public Schools, she is active in a variety of community groups and continues to serve the Girl Scouts on local, national, and international levels. Welcome, Linda. Robert Bobby Fogel. He'll always be Bobby for us. Robert resides in Raleigh, North Carolina, where he works for the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services as the Assistant Manager of the North Carolina State Fair. He's also Zone 2 Director for the International Association of Fairs and Expositions. Previously, he worked for the Great Frederick Fair and the Maryland State Fair. Through his 30-year career, agriculture education and promotion has been a top priority as he developed numerous programs and exhibits that have been recognized and duplicated internationally. Bobby is a graduate of the University of Maryland College Park with a degree in animal science. One of his greatest highlights was being a member of the 1995 Senior College winning dairy judging team in Louisville, Kentucky. Currently, he and his family raise, show, and sell purebred Shropshire and Dorper sheep. Bobby Fogel. Lois Skeen. If you haven't noticed the family resemblance, Lois is my sister, and she has dual citizenship in Maryland and Virginia. She lives in Mount Sidney, Virginia with her husband Mike. She worked for Maryland Extension Service and then with the Holstein Association as a field representative before a second career as a registered nurse. Lois was a Maryland 4-H'er and enjoyed being a 4-H leader and dairy judging coach in Virginia. She also has exhibited Holsteins with her daughters at several fairs and shows, and she's happy to have the opportunity to come back to the Maryland State Fair and see the next generation of agriculture youth in action. They always said she got the looks and I got the brains. Let's give our team of accomplished judges a round of applause and thank them for their work these last few days. Now we'll get to meet our competitors and contestants just a little better. I have their resumes here. We're going to have a little informal discussion here at the mic in the same order with which they arrived, and we'll learn a little more about them. So I'd like to invite Caroline Winterstein to meet me at the mic. Good evening. On your resume, you have that you were selected as the Youth Electric Ambassador for 2025. Sounds kind of different. I've never heard of that. Would you please explain what that involved and what it meant to you and how you approached that?
So Youth Electric Ambassadors are students who were selected to go on youth tour. This year I got to attend with Chop Tank Electric from the Eastern Shore. While there I got to meet with many other students from 48 different states around the country. I also got to meet with lobbyists from my electric co-op as well as staffers from Capitol Hill. Meeting with all these people helped me learn what it's really like to work in government relations, which I hope I could bring back to the dairy industry.
Very good. We also have noted on here that you, under clubs and activities, that you were a member of QACHS Young Life from 2023 to the present. Could you explain to us what that entails?
Yes, so Young Life is a Christian-based organization, and it's just a bunch of high school students who get together with different leaders and role models. My Young Life also has a branch called Capernaum where I've been able to help with kids who have disabilities, and it's just been amazing to see the community service and joy that we can bring to those kids.
Thank you. Now, if you would please welcome Ms. Tristan Kaiser. Tristan, you are leasing animals to youth interested in the ag industry. How did that come about, and who are they? How did you meet them?
So I've started leasing since I was a junior. How this came about was I've always loved agriculture, and I played sports with a lot of people that have known me and were like, what is ag? So I was like leasing dairy to other people to show them how my life is and to show people how the dairy industry works.
Perfect. It's a great opportunity to educate the public. You also do some community service projects with Checkers Elite and Progressive Clovers. Tell us a little more about that.
So Checkers Elite is my club lacrosse team. We made wreaths to take to people that go to nursing homes and to make their holiday a little bit brighter around that time of year. And with Progressive Clovers, we adopt a family for Christmas, and we give them all kinds of clothes and stuff to make their holiday just a little bit brighter. We also did a canned food drive to give people that are in need a brighter holiday.
Thank you. Thank you, Tristan. Now let's learn more about Leah Spurrier. On your resume, it says Frederick High FFA Holiday in Whoville. That sounds like quite an event. Tell us a little more about your FFA's Holiday in Whoville.
So my FFA hosts an event called Holiday in Whoville, and all of the members of our FFA dress up as Who's, and it is a totally free event for the community to come in, learn a little bit about FFA. They get to see the animals that we have in our classrooms. We get to teach them about them. They get to do fun crafts, and they even get to meet the Grinch and Santa Claus.
Sounds like fun. You've also, throughout the years, promoted the benefits of Guernsey dairy cattle. I know that's very near and dear to your heart. So sell us on Guernseys here this evening.
Gotcha. So I served as the Maryland Junior Guernsey Princess 2 years ago, and I got to promote Guernseys, which are very near and dear to my heart. I have shown them for my entire life. I'm a fourth generation Guernsey dairy showman. For those of you who don't know, the Guernsey cow is that light brown and white cow, and I'm gonna be biased and say that they're the best. They also have a very special thing in their milk, where they produce something called A2 milk, which is essentially real milk for people who are lactose intolerant, which is pretty cool if you asked me.
Thank you, Leah.
Thank you.
Now we'll hear from Madison Thomas, Upper Chesapeake Dairy Princess. Madison, you are a student in the North Hartford High School Natural Resources and Agricultural Sciences Magnet Program. So that sounds like a pretty neat program for a high school and very unique. So tell us a little more about that.
So through my high school, I get to take specialized classes learning about the agricultural industry. Specifically, I am part of the large animal strand. So I learn about horses and all types of cattle. I get to learn about specialized species and how to make better diet plans for them. We also have a barn full of different types of livestock where in the spring and fall we invite second graders from across the county at all schools to come and tour, which being a dairy miss in the past, I have had the opportunity to work with past dairy princesses and do booths and set up little games for kids to learn about the dairy industry on a fun field trip.
Very good. You also participate in an event here at the Maryland State Fair called Champions Livestock Show. Please tell us about that program.
Yes, so my favorite part of the Maryland State Fair for showing dairy is we do every year a contest with kids with different abilities mixed with showmen and young calves out from the dairy barn. And we come in here and the kids are announced and the calves are announced and we get to show them what it's like to be a dairy showman and how interesting and fun the dairy industry truly is.
Thank you, Madison. After that, let's give all of our contestants a nice round of applause. All four of our contestants presented their promotional presentations to the judges this afternoon, and the top two have been selected to showcase this evening. They are Leah Spurrier and Madison Thomas. Ladies, you are now excused from the stage. Our two will prepare their presentations to be presented in just a bit after the next portion of our program. A successful team has many players ready and willing to fulfill a mission. The Maryland Dairy Princess promotion team includes its regional princesses, alternates, and dairy misses. We're happy to have outstanding promoters who will be assisting our princesses this year. Would you please welcome our dairy misses onto stage as they introduce themselves.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 63rd Maryland Dairy Princess Contest. My name is Scarlett Hefner, and I'm serving as the alternate Upper Chesapeake Dairy Princess from Baltimore County. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Reese Rhodes, and I am from the South Central region. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Allison Rose, and I'm representing the South Central region.
Hi, my name is Bailey Myers, and I am a Frederick County Dairy Miss. Thank you.
Hi,
My name is Sophia Guyton, and I'm a Frederick County Dairy Miss.
Hi, my name is Sayla Hankowski, and I'm representing the South Central region.
Hi, my name is Jenna Fellows, and I'm a Frederick County Dairy Miss.
Hi, my name is Kylie Little. I'm a Frederick County Dairy Miss.
Hi, my name is Abby Stewart, and I'm representing Upper Chesapeake.
Hi, I'm Ashley Knott, and I'm representing Upper Chesapeake.
Hello, I'm Virginia Brooks. I'm 11 years old, and I'm an Upper Chesapeake Dairy Miss.
Hello, my name is Josie Brooks, and I'm an Upper Chesapeake Dairy Miss.
My name is Emma Hutchison, and I'm from the Eastern Shore region.
Hi, my name is Margaret Mason, and I'm from the Eastern Shore region.
Hi, my name is Abigail Schreiner, and I'm a Frederick County Dairy Miss.
Hi, my name is Oakland Chrisman, and I'm a Carroll County Dairy Miss.
Hi, my name is Peyton Kristanovic, and I thank everybody for coming to the Maryland State Fair today and for supporting the dairy industry.
You're here? Okay.
Thank you. You okay? Yep. Let's give that crew a round of applause. Man, if that's the future of our industry, we are in great hands. I'm so excited about that bunch of gals. They've been fantastic. They help us with all of our promotions. They've been down here at ULearn Farm. They've been passing out ribbons to our exhibitors. We're just really excited to have them on board. So want to make a few introductions while our girls are preparing in the back. First, if you look in our program tonight, on the first page there, you'll see a listing of our Maryland Dairy Princess Association Committee. I'd like to thank all those folks. I know some of them are here. I hope I catch everybody. Please stand. Gail Yiser, I know, is here. Bridget Chrisman, Jordan Griffin, Andrea Haynes, Brenda Now, Mary Catherine Stewart. I think they're all here. Can you give that crew a big round of applause? Thank you all so much for working in your regions and on the state level. We sure appreciate it. Of course, we would be remiss if we didn't thank the people who spend hours upon hours with this program. So tonight I want to, where did Mackenzie go? Deborah, stand up. Deborah Spurrier, right here, is a fantastic coordinator for our program, and the other is Mackenzie Jones. Mackenzie? I don't know what we would honestly do without them, so many thanks to them. On the back of your program, you'll see a listing of all of our sponsors, which we are very grateful for. Our program is funded through the American Dairy Association Northeast, which receives the checkoff money from our dairy farmers. So we're grateful to them for funding our program, but of course, as fewer and fewer dairy farmers exist and there's less milk sold, we need to rely on other supporting industries within the dairy industry to help us. So thank you to Allied Milk Producers, Edmondson Trucking. I'm pretty sure he's here tonight. And thank you so much. Huge supporter of our program. Horizon Farm Credit, John and Linda Foreman, thank you so much. The Maryland Dairy Shrine, I think David Hill's here. We thank him for that. Maryland Holstein Association, Charlie and Judy Yeager, Dairy Farmers of America, Marbidco, Premier Select Sires, the Ayrshire Breeders, the Brown Swiss Breeders, Maryland State Grange, and Murray Financial Group. Thank you so much to all those groups for making this possible. We have some state princesses, I believe, with us, some former state princesses with us this evening I don't want to miss. Mary Catherine Archer. Mary? In the back, sorry, Stuart, I can't do it. From 2001, I shouldn't announce the years, but I'm going to because you're all much younger than me. So 2002 is Emily here. Emily Iser-Stepp, she's in the barn. All right, that's fine. Jessica Hernandez Armacost, she was going to make it, not make it. Of course, Mackenzie, who you all just met. Mackenzie Underwood Jones was in 2016. And I believe Sydney Grossnickel is here from 2017. There we go. Sydney, thanks for being with us. And we have some other special guests with us this evening. I just introduced him, but David Hill, if you would stand again. David is the dairy superintendent here at the Maryland State Fair. We're grateful to him for his support of our program. He has kept our girls very busy the last couple of days, and it's been a great partnership, so thank you. Also, I'd like to introduce our partners from the north. Our Pennsylvania Dairy Royalty is with us tonight. Pennsylvania Dairy Princess Charlotte Wallace. And the two alternate Pennsylvania Dairy Princesses, Sadie Ernest and Morgan Larson. Thank you all so much for making the trip south, and we will look forward to heading north in about 3 weeks to say bye to you as well. So thank you for being here. Our American Dairy Association Northeast Senior Director of Industry Relations, Amy Yiser Leslie, is here. She's going to talk a little later, but Amy, thank you so much. Maryland Deputy Secretary of Agriculture, Steve Connolly. Steve, wave. We thank him. Our MDA liaison, Harrison Palmer, is here. We thank him. We have a great partnership with the Department of Agriculture, and we are grateful for that. We hope that continues. But now I'd like to introduce our Maryland Secretary of Agriculture, Kevin Addix, to say a few words.
Thank you very much, Susan. I was just finishing up my ice cream in support of the dairy industry. I'm really pleased to be here. Thank you for the invitation to allow me to come and honor these incredible candidates for the work that they've been doing and the work that they will do to represent this industry. As you know, Maryland dairy, and I'm speaking because I know we got dairy in the room here, Maryland dairy farmers are the most innovative farmers in the industry. And we know that because they're right at the center of all the pressures that are coming in for alternative land uses, and I'm talking about solar, and I'm talking about data centers, and all these other things that keep popping up. That dairy farmers are feeling that pressure unlike many others. And what I love about the dairy industry is they're the most innovative. What we're seeing is, in addition to milking and working with co-ops, over and over we're seeing farms innovate and begin to reach out directly to customer bases, whether that's bottling their own milk, making their own ice cream, turning it into cheese, butter, yogurt. I saw 9 flavors of yogurt shakes today from a creamery. So there's really innovative, great work being done. And I'm thrilled to say that all while doing that, all while living under the pressures, dairy farmers are doing everything they can, not only to do right by the environment, which we see in the productivity of our Chesapeake Bay, which we get graded on, so it's incredibly important to have farmers engaged in this, but in so doing that, they're realizing that that's also good for the bottom line. And so we know that the best way to preserve a farm is through profitability, because that helps preserve the farmer. So thank you very much for coming tonight, and let's give a round of applause to these candidates.
Thank you, Secretary Addix. Promotional presentations allow the dairy princesses to creatively share the dairy story with the public. Each contestant has created their own original skit or prepared speech geared towards a particular age audience. Our first finalist, as you heard earlier this evening, is Leah Spurrier, who has a speech geared towards a general audience.
Thank you.
The dairy industry in Maryland is incredibly important. They provide us with the delicious dairy products that we all know and love. But do you actually know dairy? From the milk in your cereal in the morning to a bowl of ice cream after dinner, we can all enjoy dairy products. But there is so much that goes on behind the scenes before those products are even available for us to pick up in our local grocery stores. I want to take you behind the scenes of the dairy industry, so you will always be able to know where your dairy products are coming from. Maryland is home to over 40,000 cows spread across around 300 farms. And if you're wondering just how much milk that actually makes, Maryland makes around 876 million pounds of milk annually. That's a lot of milk. However, where is all this milk coming from, you wonder? The largest producer of dairy products in the state of Maryland is Frederick County, with most of our dairy farms being family-owned farms. Across the state of Maryland, the most popular breed of dairy cow is the Holstein cow. A Holstein cow, on average, can produce around 9 gallons of milk a day. However, none of this milk would ever end up in our stores without the amazing dairy farmers who own these cows. Being a dairy farmer is an incredibly difficult job. They work weekends, birthdays, holidays, and every other day of the year, taking care of the animals that bring us our favorite dairy products. Up at sunrise and not getting to sleep until way past when the sun has gone down, dairy farmers work extremely hard at what they do. The dairy industry is a very important business to our state. In the state of Maryland, the dairy industry produces around $150 million in sales annually, and for a small state, that's pretty good. However, only a small portion of that number actually goes directly to the farmer. For every dollar purchased of dairy products, only 6 cents of that goes back to the farmer. And with all the expenses of a dairy farmer, that small portion that they do see doesn't do as much as you might think. The average dairy farmer in Maryland makes around $50,000 annually. And with all the time and the effort that it takes for them to take care of their cows, I think they probably should get a little bit more recognition. With how expensive it can be to be a dairy farmer, and with all the time and the effort and the care that they put into taking care of their animals, these people still do what they do because they love it. A dairy farmer's work is never done, but they get up every single day and keep doing it. Without them, we would not be able to have that milk in our cereal in the morning or that bowl of ice cream after dinner. So let's support our local dairy farms and dairy farmers. But how, you ask? I'll give you a couple ways. Head to farmers markets. Many dairy farms in Maryland will sell their products directly to or through a dairy farm. So why not just cut out the middleman and support the farms directly? How many of you love ice cream? Because I know that I do. In the summertime, follow the Maryland Ice Cream Trail. It'll take you to creameries all across Maryland that directly supports a dairy farm. Plus, you get to try some delicious ice cream. That sounds like a win-win to me. But do you know what the easiest way to support the dairy industry is? Buy dairy products. Eat more dairy, find fun ways to incorporate it into your meals, and of course, drink Maryland's official state beverage, milk. So, the next time you have a dairy product, I hope that you are able to think of all that it took for that product to end up on your plate, in your bowl, or in your cup. If you asked yourself right now, do I actually know dairy? I hope the answer is, I know it a little bit better than before. Thank you.
Thank you, Leah. And she didn't even sneak anything about Guernseys in that either. I noticed that. Our second finalist in the promotional and prepared speech is Madison Thomas, who has a speech geared towards a general audience.
walking into your local grocery store and grabbing a gallon of milk, and someone next to you says, "Did you know that chocolate milk comes from brown cows?" Now, you may laugh, but did you know that 16 million Americans believe that chocolate milk comes from brown cows? What's a funny joke for some, for others, it is a genuine misunderstanding, and it highlights something very important. Many people don't know where their food comes from. But that's not their fault. It's the world we live in. Fast, convenient, digital. But that's exactly why our role as dairy supporters is more important now than ever. Because while 60 million people may be confused about chocolate milk, our dairy farmers certainly aren't. These are the folks who are up before the sun even thinks about rising, who work in the heat, snow, and sun all day long, way past sunset. They're milking and feeding their cows 2 to 3 times a day, every single day. There are no days off in farming, no vacations. Dairy farmers are dedicated to what they do. They aren't just caretakers of cows. They're stewards of the land, nutrition providers, and contributors to the health and well-being of millions of Americans. They ensure that families across the country have access to safe, delicious, and nutritious dairy products. From milk to cheese, and of course, to ice cream. But here's the thing, while they're working hard on the farm every day, who's working to educate the public about the products they are producing? If dairy farmers are running the farm and running the equipment, then who's teaching the public? That's where we come in, and that's where all of you come in. As dairy advocates, it is our honor to get out into the community, to go to attend fairs, festivals, school events, and local gatherings all across the state. To teach people, not just kids, but everyone we meet, where food comes from. I have always loved teaching families about the dairy industry and Maryland's official state food, drink milk. I even convinced my elementary school gym teacher in 2nd grade to let me bring a dairy calf to our school's health fair to teach the families, connect them with the farm, the families, and the food that they are eating every single day. We want people to understand that dairy isn't just a tasty treat. It is an essential part of a healthy lifestyle. Just 3 servings of dairy a day, whether it be a glass of milk, an afternoon snack of cheese and crackers, or a cup of yogurt. They provide your body with 13 essential nutrients, including calcium for strong bones, vitamins to help you fuel through your day, and protein to build strong muscles. Let's not forget to take a moment to recognize our own state, Maryland. Maryland produced over 876 million pounds of milk in 2024. That's enough to fill over 148 Olympic-sized swimming pools. Not only is that a huge contribution to our community, but to our nation as a whole. So yes, milk comes from dairy cows. And you can add some chocolate syrup to make some chocolate milk, but chocolate milk does not come from a special chocolate cow. It may sound silly, but clearing up these myths is powerful. Because behind every glass of milk, block of cheese, or scoop of ice cream is a farm family just like mine, and a story that deserves to be heard. So let's keep showing up, let's keep teaching, and let's make sure that the next time someone picks up a gallon of milk, they know exactly where it came from and who made it possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Madison. Now, would you please welcome back to our stage our reigning Maryland Dairy Princess, Miss Ella Fell. Now, each of our contestants will be brought back to the stage one at a time to answer the final question. The other 3 ladies will be sequestered in a room and cannot hear the question, so there's no advantage to being first or last. I'd like to call first from the Eastern Shore, Caroline Winterstein. Better. Caroline, our final question. How would you bridge the gap between Maryland's dairy farmers and today's consumers to help them better understand where their food comes from? I'll read that again. How would you bridge the gap between Maryland's dairy farmers and today's consumers to help them better understand where their food comes from?
I believe if we were able to establish more farms that do farm tours for the public would have a better understanding of the dairy industry by seeing the hard work and the facilities used throughout their day.
Thank you. Our second contestant from Carroll County, our Carroll County Dairy Princess, Tristan Kaiser. We had to get her out of the soundproof room. All right, Tristan, how would you bridge the gap between Maryland's dairy farmers and today's consumers to help them better understand where their food comes from? I'll read that for you again. How would you bridge the gap between Maryland's dairy farmers and today's consumers to help them better understand where their food comes from?
I feel like a lot of consumers today don't understand where their food comes from. For example, I honestly didn't understand where our milk went after it left our farm. And from our Dairy Princess seminar, we got to visit Land O'Lakes. And that really changed my perspective of how food goes from place to place and where our food comes from. At the Land O'Lakes facility, they went through the process of how they clean the milk, package it, and then how they take it from the grocery stores and the process that it takes. And that, I feel like a lot of people today just don't understand where the food comes from, and that really changed my perspective because I myself did not know where milk went after it left the farm.
Thank you, Tristan. Our third contestant for the final question is our Frederick County Dairy Princess, Miss Leah Spurrier. Leah, the question is, how would you bridge the gap between Maryland's dairy farmers and today's consumers to help them better understand where their food comes from? I'll read that again. How would you bridge the gap between Maryland's dairy farmers and today's consumers to help them better understand where their food comes from?
So I have grown up showing dairy cows. However, I do not live on a dairy farm. I live in Frederick City, where there is no cows, no farming whatsoever. So growing up in this city, I have definitely seen some things and heard some things about the dairy industry that just made my gears turn and go, that can't be right. So my solution to this is just to get out in the public as much as I can, starting with elementary schools. If we talk to kids young and we teach them exactly where their food is coming from, they will be able to know and understand and appreciate our industry so much better, so they will never say that food comes from the grocery store. They will say it comes from the farm.
Thank you, Leah. Next, we will have the final question for our Upper Chesapeake Dairy Princess, Madison Thomas. Our final question is, how would you bridge the gap between Maryland's dairy farmers and today's consumers to help them better understand where their food comes from? Once more, how would you bridge the gap between Maryland's dairy farmers and today's consumers to help them better understand where their food comes from?
in my region and across the state of Maryland, recently, agritourism has become a lot more popular, and I hope that in the next year, we can continue to pair agritourism, meaning pairing dairy farmers and groups of school children, community groups, 4-H groups, so that they can see what the farm life is like and see the dairy industry in real life.
Thank you. Now, I would like to excuse our judges to make their very difficult decision. We've got the place rented for all evening, so take your time. Now I'd like to welcome Susan back to the podium.
I would not want those judges' jobs. How about you? Holy smokes. As our evening is coming to a close and our judges are making their final decision, it's time for a few awards. We would like to recognize our 2024-25 Maryland Dairy Princess Promotion Team. So I'd ask Ella if she could stand up here, and Allison Knott, our alternate from last year. Come on up, Allison. We're tickled that Allison could leave college and come up and be with us as well. Our other two members of our team, Caroline Kimball and Brielle Long, are not able to be with us tonight, but we are very grateful. Ellie, walk over there to Deb. There we go. So we want to thank them for their efforts this past year, hundreds of miles and a lot of school visits, senior citizen groups, oh my gosh, fairs, festivals, parades, they have done it all. And I don't know if Ella will share this, but she really has done, if you look at the program and see the hundreds of miles she has traveled and all the events she went to, it's really a wonderful year, and we thank her for that. Among this group, they have an opportunity to put together a scrapbook of their year's worth of activities, and those were judged earlier today by a separate panel, and they selected Ella Fell, our Maryland Dairy Princess, as a scrapbook winner. Congratulations, Ella. Additionally, our Dairy Princess Committee likes to incentivize each one of the girls' opportunities throughout the year so that they have a list of different events that we want them to go to, educational events. So we like them to get into schools, we like them to do community activities. Of course, going to dairy shows is pretty easy, but boy, they rack up those points too. But we want to thank and congratulate Allison for receiving her Regional 2 level and $800 with the incentive this year. Congratulations. And Ella, you reached and surpassed the state level and will receive another $1,000 for your incentive award. Congratulations to you. I'll excuse you all, and Ella, you can come sit back down. And Allison, again, thank you so much for your promotional efforts this year and your dedication. We appreciate it. At this time, I would like to introduce Amy Leslie to the podium. Amy is from American Dairy Association Northeast, and she is going to bring some greetings from that organization, and we again thank them for all their support of the Dairy Princess program. Amy?
Good evening, and I appreciate the nice introduction, Susan, but I am officially the filler. So when the judges come back out, I will stop talking. But thank you all so much for having me here tonight. As mentioned, I'm Amy Geiser-Leslie. I'm Senior Director of Industry Relations with American Dairy Association Northeast. I did grow up here in Maryland. I was a dairy miss. I sat there. I never wore the crown. So first and foremost, let's give our young promoters a big round of applause. We were saying, as you all came up and introduced yourselves, as well as our princesses here, that's the accomplishment in itself. You all should be very proud of yourselves. It was many years ago that I was doing that, but I love to have a reason to come back home. So thank you all for having us here. American Dairy Association represents about 8,000 farmers in our region. As mentioned before, about 300 here in the great state of Maryland. our strategy is really working in all the spaces that consumers are interacting with dairy. We try our best to reach the 50 million consumers throughout our 6-state region in various different ways. I'll talk a little bit about that. We're really selling more milk in those spaces, and we're doing our best to do that in stores. Retail is still where the most dairy is bought and consumed, so we are very proud of our retail program, showcasing the dairy farmers' product in the best possible way, making sure that those dairy cases are clean, cold, and well stocked is critically important to maintaining dairy sales in that space. We're also extremely involved in the e-commerce space as that continues to evolve since the pandemic. And then Fill a Glass with Hope is our charitable food dairy program in retail stores. Very proud of the work that does to get dairy products and milk specifically to those families in need on their tables and in their refrigerators. Maryland dairy farmer Jenna Lenhart was part of some media segments earlier this year to promote that Fill a Glass with Hope program. And just next month, and you all will hear about this too, because I'll need you there too, we will have some really fun in-store events at Redner's to support Fill a Glass with Hope, and Brooms Bloom is going to be part of our events there. So really fun and really rewarding work in that space. We're also selling more milk in schools. As mentioned, schools are critically important to not only make sure that our students know where their milk is coming from, but make sure that they can enjoy it and have it on those menus, right? So first and foremost, that it's cold. Keeping milk cold is really important for our students. Keeping flavored milk as an option in schools because, okay, dairy misses, who likes chocolate milk over white milk? Raise your hands. That's exactly right. About 60% of students will choose flavored milk over white milk. So that is a really important part of that. And then promoting different ways that students can enjoy dairy throughout their day. So breakfast is a really important part of that. Dairy farmer here in Maryland, Callie Earhart, was part of an event about National School Breakfast Week. So anytime that we can promote different ways that folks can have dairy throughout their school menus. I'm always asked, okay, so what's new and different? What are we doing? We have had virtual farm tours for many years. I like to say we've done virtual before virtual was cool. New this year, coming this fall, we're adding in a brain break video into those virtual farm tours. Not just the long form 45-minute kind of tour, but dairy farmer Austin Schwartzbeck from Peace and Plenty Farm is going to do a shorter version of brain break videos that will go along with our virtual farm tours, but also then be able to be used on social media. So kind of pairing those two different programs together, and we're excited to see how that comes together. And then, as Secretary Addix mentioned, environmental sustainability is extremely important, obviously, as you all know, to our dairy farmers. It's important to our consumers as well. Chris and Jamie Durr from Valley Ho Farm hosted a farm tour last year, and they are going to host it again for the Chesapeake Watershed Forum coming up in this fall. That's a group of folks that are going to start to make environmental policies that have maybe never ever been to a dairy farm. So it's critically important to be with them in that conversation. And so we appreciate dairy farmers like the Durrs to be part of that and bring them to their farm. Last, I'll close with, we are very proud to be the main funder of these Dairy Princess programs, these dairy promoter programs. It's always rewarding to see these young ladies, these young promoters, and how they really grow through the program. It's been great to see Ella and Allison throughout the last year really shine and promote our industry in ways that they can connect with mostly our younger audience in a way that definitely I can't. Earlier this summer, Ella joined us and dairy farmer Lauren Schwartzbeck just down the road, actually, at a summer meals kickoff event at a public library, which was super rewarding to see those students or those young people come through and know that they could have dairy as part of those summer meals. Just last week, Allison came here before the fair and did a little preview interview, really amping up what milk and dairy products can do for our consumers. So we want to thank Allison and Ella and their whole team for all of their work. And we are excited to work with this new team of dairy promoters as they get ready for the next year. It's a very rewarding part of our job. So I'll end with thank you. Thank you all for your support of the dairy industry. Thank you for the support of American Dairy Association Northeast. Dairy farmers in the room, I'm proud to work on your behalf. Like I said, I always enjoy a work reason to come back home, so thank you all for welcoming me back. If you have any questions about your dairy checkoff funds, dairy promotion programs, I'm here through the weekend, not working. I'm done after tonight, but I'm glad to have the conversation, glad to answer any questions, and always open to new ideas as well. Thank you very much. I'll hand it back to Denny.
Thank you, Amy. Is there catchphrase still, your milk comes from a good place? Is that still there? Okay, good. It's now my privilege to welcome to the microphone a young lady who's traveled many miles with lots of smiles, promoting Maryland's dairy industry this past year. Please welcome Ella Fell for her farewell remarks.
Good evening. It's hard to believe that the time has come for me to stand here today and say goodbye. When I first put on the sash and crown, I knew this role would be special, but I never imagined how deeply it would change my perspective on the dairy industry or how hard it would be to let go. Over the past year, I have traveled dusty farm roads and crowded city streets. I've walked into classrooms and boardrooms, barns and banquet halls, all to share the story of dairy. From speaking in front of nearly 1,000 people at the Taste of Maryland Agriculture, to reading Holly the Holstein Talks About Milk Cows to toddlers at the library, to scooping ice cream at the Arc of Frederick County's Disability Pride event, and not to forget what felt like thousands of ribbons I've handed out over the year. I've had the privilege of being a voice for the farmers who rise before the sun and work long after it sets. This role was never just about the crown. It was about the cow kisses, the dirty stained jeans, and making sure that the people behind every glass of milk are seen, heard, and valued. I've met families who've never stepped foot on a farm and watched their faces light up as they learned where their milk comes from. I've stood beside children in dairy barns who now dream of wearing the crown themselves one day. I've also had the honor of speaking with legislators and government leaders, reminding them that behind every policy and program are real farmers, real families, and a real future worth protecting. Those conversations gave me hope that our industry's voice is being heard where it matters most. To the people who first introduced me to the dairy industry, Chris and Jamie Durr, the owners of Valley Ho Farm, thank you for being the first people to open this door to this incredible industry for me. Long before I wore a sash, you gave me the opportunity to work alongside your herd, to learn, to grow, and to fall in love with dairy farming. From afternoons in the parlor to early mornings prepping for shows, you've not only trusted me with your cows, you've invested in my future. Thank you for always believing me and for answering a million questions, and giving me the chance to share your cows with the public as if they were my own. You helped to plant the seed that grew into this unforgettable chapter of my life. To my family, thank you for every long drive, the endless pictures, and every ounce of belief you poured into me. Even though we don't come from a farming background, you never once let that stop you from standing behind me. You've cheered me on at shows, helped me prepare for speeches, and even helped train me up for 3 days so I could throw a solid first pitch at the Frederick Keys baseball game. You didn't just encourage my passion, you embraced it as your own. To my coordinators, you were the ones who kept me steady when I was nervous and lifted me higher than I thought possible. You reminded me that grace, grit, and gratitude are always in style. Thank you for introducing me to new people, providing endless opportunities, and making me smile just a little bigger. And to the next Maryland Dairy Princess, you are about to begin a journey that will shape you in ways you never imagined. There will be long days, early mornings, and moments that stretch you far beyond your comfort zone. But I promise, it's worth it. Embrace every handshake, every school visit, and every muddy pair of boots you cross paths with. Speak from your heart, listen with compassion, and never forget the reason behind the crown, to honor the hands that feed us and the nutrition found in every glass of milk. And trust me, your voice matters, so use it. As I pass on this title, I leave a piece of my heart behind at every county fair, every spin of the trivia wheel, and every story I told. The dairy industry has given me a home, a purpose, and a family. And though my reign may end tonight, I will always carry this year with me, with deep pride, endless gratitude, and yes, a few tears. Thank you for letting me serve as your 2024-2025 Maryland Dairy Princess.
So as outgoing Maryland Dairy Princess, Ella's receiving her crystal milk pitcher that she will carry with her forever. And we cannot thank her enough. Let's give Ella another round of applause. She has just been outstanding. You want to come back, Mackenzie? Can you grab the, we also like to thank our judges. They actually returned, so that's good. I was a little worried there for a bit. We want to thank them for their time and have a little gift for them as well for spending the last 2 days with us. Thankfully, the weather was good. Thank you so much, Linda, Bobby, and Lois. You've been terrific with the girls. We thank you for your time and your patience, and you made the process really, really good for these four gals. We also have a little something for Denny, our MC again, so we thank him for that. And we're going to bring him back because we have some results.
Well, I did see Ella throw that pitch out for the Keys, and just saying, Baltimore's got some bullpen holes, so don't go too far. Well, now the moment we've all been waiting for. Judges want to thank each of these amazing young women for a quality contest. Each participant brings a rich blend of talent and experience to Maryland Dairy Promotion. And the judges are honored to present a personal initiative award to a contestant who combined her love of athletics and dairy by both improving team nutrition with dairy and engaging teammates in her dairy leasing program. This personal initiative award goes to Tristan Kaiser of Carroll County. The judges had the opportunity to listen to the contestants' milk toasts yesterday morning. The award for the best milk toast goes to Caroline Winterstein. You heard our presentations. The judges have elected the best presentation award, and it goes to Leah Spurrier. Now it is my privilege to introduce our 2025-26 alternate Maryland Dairy Princess, Miss Madison Thomas. And as we have said before, this will be our new team. All four girls will be participating in dairy promotion throughout the coming year. It's my privilege to introduce to you our 2025-2026 Maryland Dairy Princess, Miss Leah Spurrier. I'd like to thank our judges again. Thank everyone for participating and supporting our program this evening. And now we would like to hear, as soon as she gets her bouquet, some comments from our newly elected Dairy Princess. Leah, the microphone is yours.
I want to, of course, thank the judges. This is an incredible honor. I'm really excited to get to promote the dairy industry this year as the Maryland Dairy Princess. I want to thank my family, because without them I would not be showing dairy cows at all, and this would not happen. And I would also like to thank all of the girls behind me, because we push each other so hard and we support each other so much, and I cannot wait to spend this year promoting dairy with them. And I thank all of you for coming as well.
Thank you, Leah. Congratulations. And congratulations to you all. We look forward to seeing you and working with you in the coming year as you embark on your year promoting nature's most nearly perfect food. And thank you all for supporting this promotional team and this great industry. Thank you for coming, and have a safe trip home.